We all have choices we'll make in life, and each choice ultimately has a consequence and or a result. In this video, we expose what a gentleman thinks about his choices and how you too can adopt the gentleman way of thinking, so therefore your choices have your desired results. Let's dive in. Grandison Shines himself here with the League of Prestigious Gentlemen, talking about the blueprint of self-mastery. This is a video series, the second video in this video series, and we'll be today talking about the choices. Every gentleman, every person on earth has to make choices. As soon as you start living and breathing air, the opportunity comes when you become more self-sufficient. The choices are the things that we have to make. Well, as we're younger, of course, we have people making choices for us. Depending on where you are, even in your workplace environment, we have people making choices for us. But ultimately, each one of us have agency, and therefore, we must have the opportunity to understand the choices that we make and also take responsibility for those choices that we make. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about, again, the choice. Being a choice is a choice to be a gentleman. It's a choice to be any other social and or behavioral archetype as well. It's a choice in understanding that you are going to present yourself a certain way, and how you present yourself is totally predicated on the choices that you make. So what do we do here at the League of Prestigious Gentlemen? What do? We help gentlemen become the purpose-driven gentleman that's led by standards, or led by skill sets, and led by self-leadership. When that happens, the big payout often as companies that in 12 different areas. What is that outcome? Success. Success in the social, success in the professional, success in the in the personal area as well. And so when we look at the 12 pillars of life, this is where gentlemen have our success. And we understand that these 12 pillars, these 12 areas will never ever go away. So my question to you is, why not attain a level of competence and a level of success in each one of these areas? And we dive into these areas in different capacities. We talk about these same 12 areas in terms of confidence. We talk about these same 12 areas in the realm of competence. We talk about these same 12 areas where you as a gentleman should be adding value. These same 12 areas are also where you should have discipline. And as you can see, it goes on and on and on. That's why this journey is forever changing, but it's something that you can aspire to that will make a vast difference in your life. Let's talk about our content. So we talk about circumstances do not define identity, choices do. This is imperative to understand because most people, even nowadays, are not very cognizant of some of the choices that they make, and they're defined by those choices. So as we see here, circumstances don't define us. The choices that we do, because we become that particular thing. The circumstance is not the thing that defines us. Just to reiterate, as we can see here in a moment, we'll dive a little bit deeper into the circumstance. We are all going to go through certain circumstances. And if we take a look at our graphic here, going to the next slide, we have the circumstances that will accompany later on the choice. Each circumstance, if you don't do anything about it, that's still a choice. If you decide to do something about it in a creative, sagacious way, that's still a choice. What you choose to do depends on the outcome that you desire. So every gentleman's wired this way. We become wired this way. We understand that the one thing in life that we're going to go through are consistent challenges. The one thing that's consistent in life is the change. And each change brings about a different circumstance, a different opportunity. But how the gentleman sees it, that's where things become very, very different. So what's our path towards success? Here we have the opportunity. So we understand there's a circumstance, and then there's a choice. And so we start asking certain questions. What can I control in this circumstance? Is there anything that's very, very apparent to me that I have an opportunity to leverage from a controls perspective? Mainly, the one thing that's really going to be an opportunity to develop mastery and control is within oneself. Circumstances may bring certain heightened emotions, and we have to be able to emotionally regulate through the situation. We have to compartmentalize, separate them first, then compartmentalize the emotions so that we can drive forward with logic and reason and rationality and make an appropriate decision. These are all choices. So when we look at the process, we look at what we can control, and then from there we ask ourselves the question also is, what can I improve? This question is extremely imperative because improving the situation is the desired outcome. If there is a circumstance, an issue, a problem, we want to evoke creativity and innovation. If we don't have necessarily the experience or the know-how, we can utilize creativity and innovation to problem solve, think through a particular situation. That's the appropriate utilization of said tool. We shall talk about the five parts of the authentic self: the mind, the will, the imagination, emotions, and intellect, as I mentioned in the last video. Understanding how this works, understanding what question that we will ask ourselves is what can be improved. Once we understand what the improvement can be and what improvement can be made, then we go to this next point here is, what can we learn? We are going to take L's in life. The difference is, are you learning a lesson or are you taking the loss? Gentlemen, we learn lessons. These challenges and circumstances become opportunities. And for every opportunity and for every problem, there is an equal and adequate solution. Doing something about it is the main thing. Not doing something, you're still making a choice. So at the end of the day, it always comes down to how we're going to make a choice so that we can regulate the situation at hand, balance it out per se, and make it, even if we have leverage, then we can utilize that as well. But asking those questions and understanding the choice that we're about to make will give us the next right action. From there, it's all about implementation. It's not about standing still. It's about implementing the situation, implementing the solution for the circumstance, the situation, the problem at hand, whatever it may be, if it's positive and or negative. Either way is going to be a result, a consequence. The consequence doesn't necessarily have to be bad. It just means a result. You're going to have a result to how you're going to do certain things. And those results will always be predicated on the choices that you make individually, because you have agency. And it doesn't matter which environment you're in. If you're in the professional environment, you still have to make a choice, and we have to stand by those choices, own up to those choices. In the personal environment, we have the same opportunity. And then in the personal, social, and professional environments, make sure I say all three of them, there's still the same opportunity in order to leverage. And that's also permeated across all the 12 different disciplines or areas where we should be disciplined. Those 12 areas we'll make consistent decisions and choices the entire time along the way. Let's read the final piece here. It says, the framework of personal responsibility transforms setbacks into lessons. Remember, L, it's going to be a loss or a lesson. It converts obstacles into opportunities. If something is being an obstacle, this is an opportunity for us to learn something new. It's something that we can incorporate into our mindset. And challenges into character building experiences. Character building experiences. Each solution or each opportunity poses itself as something that will help build a gentleman's character. This is how we think. This is how we look at different choices. Because later on, we incorporate all that and we'll then transfer that over to other people that we impact in our life. This is the prerogative of a gentleman. This is the mindset of a gentleman. You can get to this point in a positive manner so that you make an impact and you make a difference on people, and it has everything to do with you as a gentleman stepping into your purpose. You are put on earth and you're supposed to be helping others in a certain area. Mine is to help create other gentlemen and get the men who want to aspire to be the gentleman, get them there. The women who want to have a gentleman as her own, understand the mindset of a gentleman so you can collaborate, operate, and engage with him effectively. None of us are perfect, but the gentleman's going to be about as perfect of a guy you can come. And if you are centered for women. If you're centered and you wallow in chaos, a gentleman is not for you. He's not gonna stand that. Same thing like opportunity for a man. If you are a man and you want to do business with a gentleman, if you're chaotic in mindset, he'll pick that up a mile away and you will have that opportunity to mitigate your own opportunity. So as we're going through, make sure you like, subscribe, find it. Actually, here's the totality of the graphic first. Here's how the graphic looks. You can get this graphic in the Vault system. You can also get the entire presentation with everything coordinated together, and also this video more so as well. You get all the other materials that are around it, even the audio talking about opportunities that we have here for the choice of understanding the mindset of a gentleman. Do make sure that you follow us on social media. We have a Facebook page. We have the private group that's just for men. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok as well. We also have Spotify. And if you are that guy, if you're ready to develop the standard skill sets and the self-leadership to become the purpose-driven gentleman, what we're talking about here, do go to the bottom here, leagueofprestigious-gentlemen.com/The Forge. Read about that particular program. That's the entry level to the entire system. You get all the information we're talking about, all the videos, more so that you see in the group, and more so that you see in social media with all the graphics and everything else. Go there, sign up, enroll, and then if you want to leverage a conversation, click on the book a call, and that way we can have a gentleman-to-gentleman conversation to get you to the next level and for the higher level program. But start right here with The Forge, all right? Until next time, gentlemen, talk to you later. Bye.